Dear viewers, this is Shashank. Welcome to this HW Special Live. The Supreme Court, while hearing an Indian Medical Association's plea regarding misinformation against allopathy, today issued a contempt notice to Yoga Guru Ramdev, owned Patanjali Ayurveda, and its managing director Acharya Balkrishna for continuing to publish misleading advertisements regarding medical cures despite making an assurance to the court earlier in November last year that no such statements would be made. The Supreme Court also came down heavy on the center for not taking any action in a case of misleading and false advertisements by the Patanjali Ayurveda. The government is sitting with its eye closed. The entire country is being misled through such advertisements. This is very unfortunate. The government will have to take some immediate action, the top court said. The court has also restrained Patanjali from advertising its medical products till further order. The Supreme Court had in November last year cautioned Patanjali Ayurveda against making false and misleading claims in advertisements about its medicines. To discuss more on this, we have with us on the broadcast Tarun Chauhan, advertising and marketing veteran. Tarun sir, Tarunji, thank you very much for joining in first of all.
Good evening, Ji. Can you hear me?
Yeah, I can hear you very well. So, your opening remarks on what the Supreme Court has said, because as somebody who has worked on so many brands, so how does this now it is in the legal picture, and it is not now that it has come into controversy. Earlier, also Supreme Court earlier this in 2023, also in 2022, also Supreme Court had slammed Patanjali. Now, as a brand, how much does this affect basically?
See, you must put this in the context of what is going on. Yeah. First of all, you need to understand the advertising industry itself has terrific checks and balances. Okay. Uh, Before we actually create any piece of communication, we are very very conscious that we are telling a story for our consumers to buy a product, which basically means that we go through our own legal systems, we go through our own, all kinds of uh, legal approvals, medical approvals. If it's a bike, then there are mileage issues, fitness issues, uh, various checks and balances. Okay, uh, and I think it's a self governing kind of a mechanism that people from this our industry are very careful of what we communicate. But there are times when things go wrong. Yeah, and when things go wrong, there are checks and balances. We have a body called the ASCII, which sends you a notice, and a notice can come because somebody is complaint against the advertising, and then you have to explain to ASCII, and the ASCII then takes a decision whether you need to run the ad or not. And then normally we correct it or we withdraw the ad if we are not able to explain to ASCII whether the ad is correct or not. Yeah. Now, for the matter to reach Supreme Court, that is where I find it damn fascinating. This company would have gone through the same journey, which is their internal systems, their processes. They would have got their medical clearances approved. I don't know if all that applies to Ayurveda, but there must be some checks and balances. There must be some proof of the pudding that they're getting people to eat, consume products that are tested. I don't know what the story is, correct? And I'm sure people have complained to ASCII and the industry bodies. These guys would have completely ignored it or whatever they've done for it to go to Supreme Court. I mean, it must have been a really, really pain point with people for the matter to reach Supreme Court. That is a bigger issue, which means there is a system, there's an establishment, there is all kinds of things going on for someone like this to run his company so comfortably without being questioned. It happened during even the launch of the noodle product. They did the same thing, but luckily it had to be withdrawn or it didn't sell or whatever it is. Correct? They went after Maggie, but I just find it damn fascinating that this matter had to reach the Supreme Court. It shouldn't have reached the Supreme Court, but if it reached, and I'm glad Supreme Court did what they did. I'm not questioning Supreme Court at all, but I'm just saying the bulliness of this organization to steamroll over industry bodies and do what they think is right. I think the Supreme Court had to intervene.
Yeah, Tarunji, you spoke about self-regulation of the advertising agency. I'll come back to it a little later. But if we speak about the brand itself, don't you think that the brand itself has some responsibility towards
Yeah,
what message it is sending to its
absolutely.
consumers?
Absolutely. When I say self-regulation, that's what it means. It basically means if I'm selling a tube that makes you fair, then I need to have enough evidence to prove to the world at large that that cream works. Otherwise, I can't communicate. It is not correct. Or if I give a Complan says that if you have Complan, you grow taller. I'm sure they have all the evidence for that. Otherwise, they can't claim that. If they claim that, they get caught, they get sued, they go to ASCII, their ads are withdrawn, their products are pulled off the shelf. I'm telling you, Shashank, there are enough checks and balances in the industry for the for anything misleading to be pulled out. And in all my years of advertising, uh, we've had issues. We've been called to various forums. We've gone, explained, we've corrected, and we've moved on with life. It never goes to Supreme Court, yeah. It never goes to a court. If it goes to a court, you must understand that they have just completely steamrolled the system, and that is my bigger point. That is my really bigger point.
Tarunji, are there no legal frameworks to deal with such misleading ads?
There is. There is a legal framework. There is a body called ASCII. You get called over there. You have to go there as your full team with all the documentation. I'll tell you something. Even for a mileage claim that we do on a bike ad, we get called. Okay, you say 70 liters a kilometer on a bike. I'm not even talking of food that is consumed, which is even more dangerous. I'm talking of a bike. We are called by ASCII. We go there, we explain, and if you're not able to prove, we withdraw the ad or we correct it. But if you're able to prove, then they withdraw. Then the complaint is withdrawn.
Correct, correct, correct. So, what do you think should now? Don't you think the government is itself responsible? Because even if we go a little bit in the past, during the coronavirus period, corona pandemic period,
Yeah,
also, Coronel was promoted by the then Health Minister, Dr. Harshvardhan. So, no questions to the government. The Supreme Court has also slammed the
this is
government that.
this is the government that promotes banging thalis during Corona. What do you tell them? Correct. So I just think the government is completely insulating or is insulated from issues like this whole thing of promoting non Ayurvedic products without any proper evidence, without proper proof, without proper testing. I mean, what is going on? I mean, it is sad. There's a whole industry. Yesterday I was reading the numbers. There are 1,75,000 crore company. That's what they are. That's the size of that organization. How can you do stuff like this? It's beyond me. I mean, a doctor goes through 5, 6 years of training. He goes through all kinds of stuff. The medication that they sell goes through years and years of testing on various things. Only then they're able to sell it. Uh, Here, you just put something in a bottle, call it something, and sell it. How does it work? How I just don't understand how it works.
Hmm, hmm. So, if you could suggest as a ad person, as a person who has looked to so many of brands, so if you could suggest some measures that ad agencies should go through to protect the rights of consumers, what could be them?
You can't see, Shashank, again, I'm repeating myself, and it may sound boring to you, but all the products that they're selling in the world at large they have competition. IMA is a medical body. They found these products not correct. I am sure IMA first went to ASCII and complained. ASCII would have gone through the due diligence. This organization would have ignored it. That is why ASCII, IMA had to go to the Supreme Court. You must understand the journey of IMA. IMA may not have gone to the Supreme Court on day one. They would have gone to Supreme Court because they have been ignored completely on all their objections to what is going on. And IMA is a very, very credible organization. They run the pharmaceutical industry in the country. You have to respect them. If they are saying something is not correct, it is not correct.
So that clearly means that ASCII does not have much powers.
No,
That
ASCII
is
has
why.
a lot of ASCII has a
That is
lot
why
of
we must seriously.
ASCII has a lot of power. We have all respected ASCII all our lives. I'm again telling you, the backing of this organization has, my guess is they would have steamrolled over ASCII. Very, very senior people head ASCII. Yeah? Some of the most senior people in industry are heads of ASCII. ASCII is run by a very credible team of people. And the industry respects ASCII as their governing body here. So if the industry respects it and we go by their opinion, we live with it. You can ask anyone in the industry. They will always tell you what ASCII tells you is full and final.
So do you think that it is because of the government's backing?
Yeah.
It is that the ads are being run.
Obviously. It's quite, there is a golden hand on their head. What all they sell, yeah, it's unbelievable. Anything they sell. You have and people are buying it. People buying soaps. I mean, what is the evidence that the soaps are tested? Imagine Hindustan Lever selling a soap without any test or a PNG. They will not sell it unless it's tested. It's got enough reports. I mean, if you're dealing with people's health, you're dealing with people's body, you're dealing with people's skin. You can't do stuff like this, yeah.
Okay. Thank you, Tarunji, for your insights. I think that cleared a lot of doubts. Thank you for joining in. So,
thank you, sir. All the best, sir.
Yeah. So, viewers, the news for the day is that the Supreme Court has temporarily halted all Patanjali medical ads. It has slammed the government as well, saying that the government has not taken any action regarding the same. The case was filed by the Indian Medical Association, which says that Patanjali Group has been broadcasting misleading ads and ads that has claimed to cure diabetes, and even if we see in the corona period, coronil claim to cure corona. So all these examples are examples that have proved that misleading ads are being played by the Patanjali Group even after multiple times Supreme Court intervening. So that is the news for the day. We are going to keep you posted regarding any updates. But for that, you have to subscribe to HW News English. If you wish to support us, please download our new app. It's called News Shorts. Download the app and stay updated on current affairs in minutes.